Let's head to the Eastern Cape because Hare University has been barred from evicting students from its Alice campus amid ongoing violent protests. Students were initially given until 5 p.m. yesterday to clear out their residences. This followed intense clashes between frustrated students and police over unresolved governance issues as well as poor living conditions. Liyema Vumisa joins us now with an update from Hare University. Liyema, do you know if there are still some students in and around campus at present? And just let's talk about the stopping of eviction of these students by 5 p.m. yesterday and how that fared.
Yeah, that's right, Arabile. I mean, when we woke up today, we did in fact see, first of all, police visibility high on alert still right here at the main campus in Etikeni of University of Hare. But yesterday evening, when we were just, monitoring the situation around campus, we did in fact spot a very high number of, students that were firstly stranded outside the premises just before that 5 p.m. deadline because they were telling us that they're fearing for their lives and that they don't want any more violence to occur after that 5 p.m. deadline. But just as that was the case, we were then told by some of the student leaders that in fact they did file an urgent application that is interdicting those evictions that were instituted by the university yesterday, of course asking or rather ordering the learners or the students to vacate the premises amid that temporary shutdown that was also announced by the university yesterday through its Vice-Chancellor, Professor Buhlungu. Now, when we woke up, we were told that some of the students are still, in fact, in the residences and that merely those who left were those who had the financial muscle to do so. But most of them, they are still inside the premises of this campus and also in their residences. Of course, this then just comes on the backdrop of that urgent application, which, by the way, is set to be heard in the East London's High Court today at around 12:30 in the afternoon. Thereafter, then, these students will know their fate, whether or not they need to vacate the premises or they, in fact, will continue to reside at the residences inside the campus. Meanwhile, studies, academic teaching remains, shut down amid those student violent protests, because the institution believes then that there cannot be any normalcy at this current juncture up until certain issues are resolved, primarily those issues pertaining to the grievances that the students were raising, student living conditions in some of their student houses, and also some of those grievances pertaining to the governance issues of the management, where these student formations and some of their leaders are claiming that the institution is merely being arrogant in terms of addressing some of those grievances that they have. And also that very important point, which they also are raising, that pertains to the SRC elections, which they believe was being imposed onto them by the management, in fact, not even having a democratic election process. So today we are certainly going to be on standby then for that, East London High Court verdict in terms of whether or not the students will in fact be evicted or not. Meanwhile, that delegation from the Department of Higher Education has, of course, descended, whilst we were told that in the first set of meetings that were held with some of the stakeholders, management was a no-show in that.